Hello and welcome to another moment in time with me, ZG. How is everyone doing? How have you been this time around? First of all, I would like to express my appreciation for the support and responses to the previous video that we talked about harmony. I noticed I am very proud of that one myself, and I think it turned out like the best possible, the best video I've done so far, and I'm very grateful that people have been watching it, and I hope it encouraged you to, like implement it into your life. And if you haven't watched it, I encourage you, I ask you kindly, if you would want to go watch it. It's a really good topic, which we will be touching on just a little bit in today's topic. And in that case, without further ado, I'm not sure how to segue into this topic today. I'm not sure exactly how this video is going to turn out overall, but again, we're gonna go for just spontaneous, just talking about a certain topic, about my thoughts and views on something in particular, without overly, let's say, philosophizing over it, just like filling the void. And yeah, since I'm already doing that, I would like to talk about I entitled it with complexity of life. But with that, I'm in my mind, I actually had rather the awareness of the complexity of life, the awareness, or also, and in addition to that, the sort of evaluation of the complexity of life. Now, I'm not going to go into the expression itself. I'm not gonna talk about what I think is complex and what complexity, what is meant by complexity. But how about I just start with where I got this inspiration for this video from, and that was a little bit of a story on my end from my personal life. So at work, at my full-time job, I have been asked lately, a little while ago, to help put together a presentation, put together a lecture of sort on a certain topic. And as I've been preparing for that, and as I've been putting this presentation itself together and learning about the topic myself and everything, and as we are moving closer to actually performing the actual course, the actual presentation at the venue, or at the wherever we're going to be presenting that to the customers, I got to think today how much actually goes into creating and preparing for a presentation, and in a way how, let's say, unusual, untypical we present ourselves when we are openly talking about or just talking about a specific certain topic that we have been like asked to do, right? I imagine myself, for example, like being at our company, at our firm, and having someone, having a lecturer, a teacher of sorts of any topic come to us, and like, how would I feel? What would I want? What do I expect from, like, learning about a specific topic? What do I expect from the presentation itself? And it got me to think, just like I said, we don't necessarily, when it's a task, when there is one specific topic, area of expertise or something we talk about, we don't necessarily present our full selves, our like entire individuality, I suppose. We do into the actual presentation. We do to a certain degree with our like body language, our approach, our way of talking. But when we talk about one topic, we tend to mindfully focus on just that, because the circumstances, the environment, the task demands just like the topic. We are interested in the information being presented to us, not the entire package, so to say. But the entire package is still part of the presentation, so why don't we why don't we emphasize more? Why don't we just focus so much on just the actual information being presented, right? And from at that point on, I started thinking about like all the recent presentations that I have been a part of, so, recent lectures, maybe TED Talks, presentations, videos that I watch or just partook in, and how they made me feel, how a person, I'm a judgmental person, I'll be honest with that. I'll just be on the forefront. I tend to evaluate like people and their approach to things. I can easily tell when a person is just like very highly knowledgeable about a certain topic and just like full of information and not really with the heart and soul into it, and when it's just genuine conversation, fun times, as well as something really uplifting and inspiring, right? And it got me to think that we, like I said, like I've been mentioning this time around, how we present ourselves, how we sort of put on a mask, just not necessarily to please like our crowd, our listeners, the people that it's being presented to, but just like to appeal to them. We just divide ourselves, essentially take a part away because it's not necessary, of course, for some certain topics at hand, and that in my opinion takes away from actual experience. That lowers the information being broadcasted itself, right? It's as if we take away the charge from like a really good thing. We take a part of it away, and it's just like, it's there, it's still there, the majority of it's still there, but it feels like something's missing. It's just like stale logical information, like words, letters on paper, essentially, right? Or just vibrations in the air, words being said. Basically, just like I could have just summed it up the entire time, but I started thinking about like the people doing presentations, people being open public speakers, people doing presentations for big companies, for individuals, just like counseling, talking openly. And it got me to think, all these public figures, all these speakers and presenters and like, I don't know, influencers, whatever you want to call them, are at the end of the day, we are still people, just like highly, as we've talked about in previous videos, pretty damn complex beings, human beings with a soul, body, mind, like morality, biological functions, and like a higher sense, intuition, whatnot. And it got me to think how much, again, goes into these presentations and how much we prepare for these just to put only a mere part of ourselves, of our personality, of our individual, into that area of expertise. And we might get compensated like monetarily for it, but like even at high prices. For example, I'm not going to disclose the details specifically, but doing the presentation we're about to do is going to be compensated in the like thousands of dollars or euros region. Like, it's not just like a regular an hour long talk about like like a lecture in school, like a school hour long. It's a little bit more complex, it's a little bit more detailed, a lot more detailed actually, but it has a high price. But then I started thinking, it's of course it's compensating. There goes a lot of work into that, and as well these presenters, the people that are experts or just professionals in what they talk about, they are at the end of the day, they're still people. They do their work, they go out there, present the topic that they know a lot about and just present that part. At the end of the day, they're still people. They still need like food and water, and they probably still have a family. They have their own feelings, their own insights and emotions that they do not bring to the forefront in those presentations. obviously, because the circumstances themselves don't call for it, obviously, but we are still complex and highly like accurate and complex, just very versatile, deep thinking, deep feeling people, human beings. We are beings of the universe, souls essentially. Just, you know what I'm talking about if you watched the previous video. Basically, we're a bundle of energy that is in a bodily form, physical form, but we tend to dive into like spaces that we don't know nothing about, or we know barely anything to maneuver through them. And yeah, the part that those parts just go away, don't bring to fruition essentially. And people put, for example, and if that again in turn got me to think about leadership positions in big or even small companies. People who put the vast majority of their lives into their work. For example, like legitimately working for 10, 12, 15 hours a day even, and got me to think how much of the personality remains thereafter essentially. If you put that much work and focus into making a thing happen, making a structure out of things, making a solid groundwork that tends to be stable over a long period of time. Of course it takes effort, of course it does, but you know, like how do people it got me to think how people can manage, of course. And I myself personally can't really relate because I don't have that much to manage, that much responsibilities and occurrences to manage. But some people are just naturally really good at it, and that's their way of life. And from there on, I came to the conclusion, the realization, and my, I suppose, my personal opinion and my view of life and reality as it is, that we put, I'm gonna say 90 to even 99% of our focus into this, let's say, big picture. When we say big picture, just like it's still really a small picture. We tend to put 90% of our focus onto this presentation, how we are presented to society, to others, and how we present like our not individuality, but just how we are managing life, how we are managing reality and the materialistic world. Only how we are being evaluated by others, how we present ourselves so we can please others, what can we acquire from that said interaction, how is that gonna benefit us, how does it what's the opposite of benefit, how does it obstruct us and belittle us, how we can grow from that, how does it hinder us essentially. And that is an issue. That's what I want to stress in this video in particular, that is an issue, which is luckily, from what I've been noticing as well on the other hand side, that's being compensated with, balance. Like I said, like we are reiterating over and over, life as a human, the lives that we lead are kind of complex when you think about it. They consist, from what I personally call at least two aspects, which is the reality, the materialistic real world essentially, and then there is the inner, our personal, individualistic personal world, so to say, our feelings, our emotions, our perception, our reception as well, our personalized, our indoor essentially way of living. And personality, feelings, thoughts, hunches, opinions, even for that matter, of course. All these things are still a vital part, a necessary part of living a healthy life. And if we put 90% of the focus into just the reality part, the management, the more, I want to call it extroverted, but just like more the social aspect, how we are presented to society, we tend to neglect those 10 to 1%, I would even argue sometimes, of ourselves, the aspect that we spend in actuality much more time with. We are with ourselves. Literally, we are ourselves. We are with our emotions, our feelings, our conceptions every single second that we are awake, and sometimes even when we're not awake, 24/7, 365 days a year, from birth to death, essentially. And that is what I would want to stress, that the issue is, if we keep on focusing solely on how we are presented, how we can manage things, on the materialistic real world, the real world structure, which is necessary. I'm not demonizing it, I'm not criticizing it. It's vital, and it's definitely and it needs to be. It's the groundwork of the foundation of our infrastructure that we live in and like function in, obviously. But if you keep focusing even more up to that 99%, I'm not gonna say 100% because that is statistically impossible, but if we keep moving towards the 99% like focus over there and keep neglecting the personal aspects, we're definitely in for a much bigger crisis than we have already been facing, and just like the world's gonna be a worse place. So my encouragement in this video is the other side, the personality, the personal aspect, the field of personal development, personal growth, which partakes all of these things that are, when you think about it, the true joys of life, like the basic principles, like I said, feelings of joy, happiness, peace, love, and appreciation, just the simple things, but the most rewarding things that we strive towards at the end of the day. After everything's said and done, those are the things that truly deeply matter. And yeah, got me to think. All this got me to think how there's always a way where we can balance things out, and balance is definitely one, in my personal opinion, a very core, key aspect of life, and if not the most core aspect to life. And that is my encouragement to anyone watching out there. Basically, if you're struggling with anything, if you feel like you're burning out, if you feel like stuck in the world, even maybe have like some sort of slight mental inclinations towards like negative thinking, overthinking, anxiety, tension, these popular aspects that we come across lately more and more, even more and more prevalent. Let me just assure you, everything and anything can and will be solved, definitely can be solved. There are people out there, people whose sole purpose essentially is to balance out these stresses, these tensions. Like I said, the real world, the materialistic aspect is definitely important, and that is a vital part of our days, of every single one of us. But if we don't balance it out with enough time and focus attention to our inner world, our personal feelings, we're in for a bad time. That's as simple as I'm gonna put it. Therefore, luckily, as there are professionals who teach us professions and teach us how to be skillful at certain deeds, tasks, presentations, topics, just as well, there are there are topics out there in, let's say, personal development, people that focus on specifically those areas as well, that uplift, enlighten, inspire, and educate, like broaden our horizons, balancing out and just connecting these two seemingly, almost I made them seem as though they are separate, but in reality, again, we are living in one world with just two different aspects, depending on where we put our focus to. Again, my encouragement is here to just to be open and encourage you to, if you were on the verge of feeling unhappy or just unsatisfied with life, with making a change and maybe you were thinking about reaching out to, say, professionals, to counselors, to coaches, teachers, to maybe you've been getting some like advertisements on the internet about like coaching groups or just self-care, health, topics like this. This is my encouragement to reassess and reevaluate what that could mean to you. My best bet is that if you are already thinking about, if you're watching this video and you've ever thought about, I don't want to use the term get help or just get therapy, and because that is still stigmatized, but luckily still opening up more and more. If you were ever on the verge of wanting to confide in someone or something, this is my personal encouragement, as well as I hope like to encourage as many people as possible to open up to that idea, to take the plunge, take the risk, reevaluate what that could mean for you on the long term. These are not, absolutely not short-term quick fixes. These are very broad, very long-term, lifetime, big steps that they are also the hardest to do and realize, manifest in the world. But once we do overcome these obstacles that our minds and our over focus on reality tends to present to us, once we do get over these, let's just say it's just heavenly. The feeling is awesome and really fun, and boy does it feel good. Just it's like I don't have an expression for it, but it's worth every cent, every second, any amount of any currency that we can spend, including our time. That is arguably, or just I'm gonna say it, the most precious and most priceless resource, the parameter, I suppose, that we have, because let's face it, our time on Earth is limited to a certain degree, and we don't know when it's gonna end, essentially. So how we choose to spend it, because we are spending it with every passing moment, every second you watch this video, it's being spent, but it's being, in my opinion, it's being is being invested into something worthwhile. If it's being invested in personal care, into good feelings, watching a funny video, a motivational, inspirational video, an educational video, talking to a coach, talking to your friend, confiding your feelings, like relating to feelings, learning something new, those are all things that truly deeply stay with you. That these things stay with us. These things, we may tend to forget some things that we learn, but deep inside, the feelings that it evokes, the present moment that it creates, those things, those aspects stay for us until pretty much, I would argue, even to like the next life, even after passing. I would argue, because those are, again, energetic levels, soul level changes, like shifts, which we again talked about in Harmony in the previous video. And this is just my encouragement to open up to these things, reevaluate them, and when we consider like pricings and whatnot, just reassess, just keep in mind that these things, the prices are usually just set not as a hurdle, not as an obstacle, and not as like a boasting method. These prices consider what you get from investing into yourself, into your soul, into your development on a core level, and just think about, like, if it's for example, a specific example, if it's worth, like, I don't know, spending $50 for a full course gourmet meal that you're gonna eat, digest, and it's probably gonna go out the other end in a matter of 24 hours, and barely, only some nutrients are gonna remain in your body. Whereas if you spend like 40 to 50 hours for an hour of counseling, of a conversation, and you focus and you learn something new about yourselves, you learn how to manage your emotions, you learn how to become better at a specific skill, that you use every single day, potential every single moment of your life, just argue. I'm not saying that food is not important, by the way. You still need to eat food. You just don't have to spend as much on food. You just, but the added value that I'm trying to emphasize here is worth it. That's what I'm trying to say here. So with that, I would like to also offer, I suppose, throw my hat into the ring as well, and just remind everyone watching this video that at the moment in time we do offer as well sessions, like confessionals, I want to call them, coaching sessions, I suppose, one-on-one sessions, as well as like per hour, per specific topic that you might be struggling with, a specific area of life that you might be facing challenges with, along with a full course on multiple aspects, on a multi-layered, deep, insightful, individualistic approach, with great methodology, and all of that stemming essentially coming from, let's say, I think it's been 10 years of expertise of countless online articles about spirituality, personal development, psychology, and countless, not thousands, but hundreds of books read on those topics, as well as 5 years at least of active, proactive development on a personal level, on my actual level. From what I'm speaking of personal development, if you want to know specifically what some things that we've been through, a moment in time for myself I have been through, you can watch a video that I made, like a status update on what has been transpiring in my life, and that's all been through the course of added value of personal development, along with facing the real world and just balancing those, at least those two aspects out. So again, we offer moment in time is always there or available for you. You can look up our webpage, where there's a contact page as well. You can send me an email. There's a Facebook page, always open for discussions as well. You can leave a comment, obviously, here on YouTube, always welcome. Twitter, Twitch, all these things are open to you. And if you should choose another of the countless at this point, counselors, coaches, and whatnot, I wish you like nothing but the best. I sincerely wish you nothing but the best. Go with someone or something, some presentation, some topic that resonates with you. Take a deep breath, and if you've been feeling it, take a deep breath with me here right now, for example. And if you've been feeling the hunch, the inclination that you will want to learn more about your inner world, about the functionalities of the outer world, and you've been perhaps hearing about some sort of aspect, some sort of philosophy, or a person that partakes in that, a person that performs those things or is associates those things, is known for, go for it. Take the leap, take the plunge, invest in yourself, and because most assuredly, I'm 99% sure, without necessarily pointing out the money back guarantee in a way as they do, you're probably gonna take something away from it that is gonna stay with you for a lifetime, not just until like next week, until you finish your studies, until you get a new job, until you get into a new relationship, but like through all of these expertise over and over, and you're just gonna keep on building from that foundation essentially. So one more time, take the plunge, open yourselves up to balance, to keep working hard on one hand, what you do what you love and love what you do, and don't forget about the actual love itself in the personal form. So that's all enough. I feel like if I say anything more, it's gonna be way too much as it is. Thank you very much for watching this video at any moment in time. If it resonated with you, as always, leave a comment. Appreciate it genuinely. But just for you, if you're watching this till the very end, I appreciate it genuinely, and you have my heartfelt thanks. And I think there's nothing more to add, except I can't wait to meet any one of you anyone or everyone out there, and I can't wait for us to take the plunge and keep working on bettering ourselves together, and a greater society, and just a really cool, really fun, awesome, and balanced life. This has been ZG. Kill it in a way. I wish you a pleasant rest of your day wherever it might be around the world. Thank you one more time for watching. Stay in touch, and I hope to see you all in another moment in time.